GM, can you guys hear me? Awesome. GM everyone. Head Kali, Victor, Emperor, Chief Blade Jindo, OG Sith, Level X, Katir, Skivel, Ahota, VB, Suro, Star, Santorin, J Mountain, Grana, and Defects. GM everyone. Welcome to this brew. This special brew, which anticipates our town hall, our first 2026 town hall. And I think today I'm going to suggest we go back a little bit on the origins of what the Atlas Brew is. For one reason mostly is that I don't want, by any extent, to spoil town hall content. I was advised, I was even threatened to not do that. We have something special for you guys tomorrow. We have been working hard this year to get those things ready for you all. So we can survive a day longer until it drops. So today I'll focus on things that are not embedded directly in the town hall. Instead, we'll have a chill, casual conversation as we had in the OG ages of the Atlas Brew. Those who were there know, where we simply theory crafted about the universe of Star Atlas, about the future, about the past, the present, and everything related to our program. And today, I have two main topics that I would like to discuss with you guys, and they are, how can I put it, a display of duality. I want to talk about the macro scale of Star Atlas. I want to talk about mega projects, faction-wide content, shared objectives, and things that we'll see in the future of C4. And I also want to talk about the microcosmos, the lowest level of Star Atlas gameplay, the guy who has one crew member, one air bike, and wants to make a legacy for himself in the universe of Star Atlas. So those two topics, they are going to govern what we are going to talk about today. About how I imagine this moving forward in the world of Star Atlas. And I wanted to hear your guys' input on how you guys feel about those topics. If you guys have suggestions, if you guys have ideas of how things can play out, if you have strong feelings on things that should happen or shouldn't happen in any of those true fronts, you have your voice heard. If you want to come up stage, I'll be more than happy to accommodate you and provide you with a voice so we can theory craft and have fun about Star Atlas as we like doing here. So, but before I get started on that, before I actually start on the main topics, I want to remind everyone that we have the town hall tomorrow. If you are living under a rock and you don't know, we have a town hall tomorrow. The team has been working a lot this year of 2026. We have many products under development. We have Zinc, we have Project Galia, we have the C4 PTR. We have our RPG campaign going on. All of this, they are starting to bear fruit And we are going to talk about those topics tomorrow in depth. You guys will get the latest news on every single thing that the Star Atlas team is working on. So you better be here when we tomorrow at this time and hour. Emperor, I see you say we have a new pip for Volt. Do you want to come up stage and explain to us this new pip? Let me invite you. So people don't say that Jose blocks people from talking about their pips. Jim?
That would never happen.
Yes, 100%.
No, having me. Yeah, it's a pretty simple update. The Super Phoenix DAO applied for some funds to help compensate the folks that put on the event. I don't have the details in front of me. I'm on a job site, but that's kind of the long and short of it. But we definitely appreciate people casting their vote and being part of the process. So Nord with the Super Phoenix DAO and his team applied. It took a little while to get it through. We worked through a bunch of details, got some feedback on what could be added that hasn't been added in the past, some numbers and quantifying data. So yeah, just make your voice heard. I think it starts in about 1.5 days. It was posted yesterday, about 12 hours ago. So.
Awesome. If anyone from the Super Phoenix DAO wants to come up stage, or do we have a link to the proposal or something like that, feel free to tag me, jump here on stage, or just share in the chat the informations on what you guys are working on. But yeah,
and I've been pretty impressed with Super Phoenix Sports. If you actually go and look at some of their live streams, and it's in the PIP, they were like top 1% in streams on Twitch for some of them. So it's actually pretty impressive for a pre-alpha game. Some of the attention that they've got.
Yes, no, this is super exciting. And I'll second what Emperor just said. We really support you guys doing things for the Star Atlas ecosystem. We have the DAO. The DAO has enough funds to help you create your projects, to fund your activities, to get you to transform the 0 to 1. And it's your opportunity to do something cool related to Star Atlas, to expand your skill set, even to create your own enterprise and profit. So I highly recommend using the DAO to your advantage. You help yourself, you help Star Atlas, and we have a very diligent council trying to help you guys steer your projects and your pips in the right direction.
Yeah, and on that note, it's not necessarily the easiest process to go through. We make it as painless as we can, but that doesn't mean there isn't any pain. But if you take our advice and follow the knowledge base, you can get something pushed through. If you provide the right data and answer questions, it's definitely worth the time. And it's honestly, it's an experience most people don't get to get. That sounds weird, but don't get to have. Is going through this process, and yes, can be painful, but it's absolutely a learning experience if you are the type of person that doesn't mind learning. So I definitely encourage people to apply. Reach out to any of the council members, and we can definitely help you.
That's awesome. Anyone have any questions for Emperor on pips and etc.?
And Jith is here in the audience as well, so.
Awesome.
Cool.
I see.
Oh no, Erther is typing. Wait, oh geez. I have no idea.
Come on, Emperor.
I have the same knowledge as you guys. I love it. Maybe Jendo knows.
Sheesh,
throw him under the bus.
So okay.
Love it.
All right,
well, thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
Likewise. Yep.
So yeah, guys, apply to the DAO, submit your pips. We have a whole ecosystem to back you out up here. We have the framework, we have the funds, we have the knowledge base, we have the talent in this community, we have passionate people for Star Atlas here. So this is your calling to go to the next stage, to put on the extra effort. So you can benefit the community, you can benefit yourself, you can benefit the whole ecosystem. With this advertisement said, I also would like to give away right away today's code, because this conversation now will be more focused on theory crafting, it will be more focused on deep diving on Star Atlas infrastructure. We, as I said in the beginning, for those of you who are not here today, we are going to focus on content that will not be covered by the town hall tomorrow. We can wait another 24 hours when we have waited 4 to 6 forever for more product information. So today is going to have those OG vibes of the brew, where we theory crafted about the universe of Star Atlas. And the code for today is tomorrow! Exclamation mark. So make sure you get your tickets for Iris Blessing campaign. And having said that, I want to make a quick recap on the context that I will use to discuss today's topics. Most of you guys have been following us for a few years now, when we set out on the mission to create a metaverse. And not only an IP, not only a normal metaverse or a normal game, we set out to create a blockchain game. And to the surprise of a total of 0 individuals, this proved to be an incredible challenge. We have been facing all sorts of difficulties. We have been grinding and learning and pretty much paving the way to an entire new let's say market, let's say age, just something entirely new that literally didn't exist before. Like Star Atlas is among the first games to use blockchain technology, and it is not a stretch to say that we have been the ones that created the most sophisticated, the most powerful blockchain technology programs, maybe in the entire industry, but surely in the gaming industry. Yes, Jindo, lots of respect. This is for few. Yes. So we have been grinding, we have been learning as we created everything. And right now we are on the verge of some pretty substantial, I would say, updates. We have our own blockchain, the Zinc network, which will allow us to have high-speed transactions with low costs, which will solve one of the biggest problems that we had so far in terms of our game design and our game framework, which was that the costs for transactions and overall participation in the Star Atlas ecosystem were higher than the rewards that we could provide through gameplay loops. This blockchain not only will be the home to our gaming ecosystem, but it also opens the doors towards any other projects, any other environments, anyone else that wants to participate in a blockchain ecosystem that uses the framework, all the abilities and advantages of running a Solana blockchain. Parallel to that, we are close to achieving the framework of our full-scale metaverse economy, which is the C4 ETR, the C4 ecosystem. Most of you guys here in the audience, I know you by heart. You guys have been here from the days when we used it to click and we had little squares on the map. We didn't have sectors, we didn't have much. And all we did was scanning and searching for prizes and posters and etc. We came all the way from a coordinate system to a proper framework that allows us to have a political dimension. It allows us to have a full-fledged economy with hundreds of different resources, with thousands of different planets, with different locations, with a lore layer that adds meaning to each one of those locations. So we now have species. Each species in our universe, each one of them has a different soul, a different purpose, a different background. They have different ships, they have different architecture, they have different backgrounds, they have substance. And we built those building blocks. They are being tested right now in the C4 PTR. I can see some of the people who are actually testing those mechanics right now here in the audience. They are working diligently to crash the bugs, check out how everything is going, make sure that everything is working. And beside that, we have a strong economy. We have the basis we have our DAO. We have an entire ecosystem built with the sweat and tears of this powerful, loving community that's composed of you guys. So it is a very interesting moment for me, who have been both a member of this community and a team member, to see those things taking shape, admittedly taking a lot longer than we all expected, because no one knew how hard it would be to build something like this. But things are coming to fruition, things are progressing, and every day that passes, we are a step closer to the vision that we shared during our white paper. Which makes me really happy. We have Project Galia, we live exactly, Lerno. We have the 4 to 6 years now. We actually are getting there. We are getting to the 4 to 6 years. But yeah, this is all exciting. And all of those, they are very important building blocks that allows us to build this enormous game that we have developed. We showed you guys a glimpse of what this could become through Holocene. Through Holocene, we showed that we could create a quest system. We could create an actual gameplay loops. We could create something that would keep people playing, entertained, participating in the ecosystem. And now we are going to move to other objectives. We are going to, once the C4 PTR is ready, we'll have the C4 launch. And after the C4 launch, we will have new milestones. And those milestones, they are the actual topic. You guys saw that I did a huge roundabout way just to get to this point, because today we are going to talk and theorycraft about those main topics the same way that years ago we used it to discuss what would become the C4 of today. Happily, we have a new advantage. That is that Star Atlas, Automata especially, learned a lot through those years of hard labor. Right now we have a very solid foundation in terms of both team members, passionate team members who are here for this project no matter what, and we learn how to leverage technology in the forms of AIs, in form of frameworks, anything that you guys can imagine that would help Star Atlas, we have tested, experimented, and the good things have now been integrated to our workflows. And this already allows us to develop things much faster. Like John is here in the audience, he knows this more than anyone else. The amount of work we were able to do for Holocene in a short span of time is incredible. And the good news is that this is only going to increase, this is only going to get faster and more powerful. And with that said, I want you to move your guys' eyes to the main topics of today. I want to talk about the mega project, which is a feature that was first mentioned in the Star Atlas white papers as the main structures that the players on the C4 ecosystem and the overall browser game will be aiming collectively to build. Those are enormous structures, they are enormous, powerful buildings, ships, objectives that will give your faction an advantage in game. We'll talk about that. But I also, in parallel, I want to talk about the micro scale as well. And this perhaps is the most interesting of the topics that we have to discuss today. I want to discuss the minimum gameplay loop, like what you guys are going to do once you have your crew member, your air bike, and start traveling through Galaxy Expanse. And to preface this conversation, I'm going to go back to something that Michael Wagner was talking about during the last brew when he came up stage without further notice, and he presented the idea of the democracy module in the game. For those of you who were not here in the last brew, Michael came up stage and said that the first thing that we are going to start working on in terms of content for Star Atlas after C4 is delivered, the PTR is working, we have our foundations completely bug-free, and etc., is creating the political gameplay loop for Star Atlas. And this political gameplay loop is already internally designed, and the way that it works, I'll give you guys like the whole logic and the whole systems in which it works, is that players from a faction, once they have conquered a star base and upgraded it to tier 5, they will unlock a new technology that doesn't belong to a player, but belongs to the star base of a faction. It will allow you guys to install new infrastructures inside the said starbase. And the example that we are using today is the democracy module. This name will change, but basically it allows you to start the political gameplay loop inside a given starbase. When we are talking about the political gameplay loop in a specific starbase, we are talking about allowing players to use their crew members to assess their PvP. The police voting power that you get from locking your police in the police vault, and to use it in-game as a resource to your and your faction advantage. So once this structure is constructed, you can use crew members that will have the politician career or proficiency, and you'll be able to allocate a portion of your PvP to that crew member. So for the sake of argument, let's say you have 100 PvP points and you have crew members. Each crew member will have a gate of how much PvP he can exert. Let's say, for example, a new crew member who is just getting started in his political career will have max of 5 PvP, and you will be able to channel this PvP that you have, a portion of this PvP from your 100%, for your 100 points, you'll be able to channel 5 PvP to this specific crew member. You allocate him to the Senate of a given star system where your faction holds influence, and this crew member will allow you to vote on the decisions of the decisions that star-based political legislature will make. And this is a broad concept here because every region will have their own DAOs. Each region of Star Atlas will have their own, what's the word in English here for the money that the government has to expend in a year? They'll have their own revenue streams. They'll have their own, thank you, Lerno, budget, the treasure, exactly. Each one of the star bases will have their own treasury, and the players that have PvP allocated to that system, they will vote on how to use that treasury as the first main power of the political gameplay loop. And also, they will vote for the laws of the system. They will vote on how they want the legal system of that sector to work. So this process will be pretty similar on the way that PIPs work, but on a simplified manner. Of course, we can't have 51 different complex political systems as we have. Or, I mean, we can, but we won't have this on day one. On 51 different laws, sectors to govern. This would require players to become full-time political analysts in Star Atlas. But the way that this is going to work is that players will have many default options on the things that they want to propose for their co-players inside that region DAO. And for you to vote, for you to participate in this process, the crew member will need to be locked to this DAO. So you can't just move around your crew members to vote in different locations. You need to be required to lock this crew member in one of the positions in the map, and use his stats, use his expertise in politics to influence the outcome of events. And players will be able to vote on a variety of things. For example, the first things you need to do is to vote on taxation. Each sector in Galia Expanse, each star base, each local market, it has different tax brackets. A part of the income will come, a part of the star base income will go to the faction. One part of the income will be used on the treasury, and players will have the abilities to decide on those rates. I mean, the faction, the taxes that you want to the faction will be fixed, but players will be able to participate on deciding how much of the treasury, how much on taxes will be placed on each one of the players. If, for example, any sorts of materials or goods are banned from the faction, from the region. Another option here is to commit the treasury to rent ships for the defense of a region in Star Atlas. You guys will have autonomy on deciding how this specific region will work in the world of Star Atlas. And I'm sure this is going to be super entertaining in terms of the political gameplay loop, because surely there will be people trying to sabotage the faction's interests, there will be players that will fight to defend the faction and the region interest to the best of the activities. And maybe we could even have things like secession, like you can vote for this region to leave Ustur control or Mud control or Oni control, join other faction. This is something that we can even explore in the future, or even becoming an autonomous region inside the world of Star Atlas. So, yeah, Arthur, who knows? Maybe we could even play with this concept. I personally find it interesting. But this module, this idea, this concept, is but one of the mega projects that we are looking to establish in the future of Star Atlas. We feel that Star Atlas is by nature a game system that requires players to cooperate in order to achieve results. And so far, this has not been the case. We see players with huge fleets being able to pretty much do everything that they need to survive by themselves. And Lerno asked a very interesting question, making a region able to be docked by other factions like Star Atlas Dubai, a trading haven. Yes, sure, I think this is entirely possible. I think this is even interesting. This is a very interesting concept that I will present to the team. I really see, because right now, in terms of lore, we live in the golden era of peace of Star Atlas, so it makes a lot of sense to have open trade between the factions in local markets and everything that's going on. But going back to what I was talking before, Star Atlas is a multiplayer game by nature. We structure Star Atlas in a way, or envisioned Star Atlas in a way, where players would be reunited under the banner of their factions, under the banner of their decks, and under the banner of politics, so they could organize themselves in political structures, through affinities, through economic interests, and cooperate with one another. This is paramount, this is extremely necessary for the success of Star Atlas. And this is one of the things that we are turning our eyes towards after C4 is complete. And we are going to develop those shared products as a way for players to cooperate, as a way for players to get together and impact themselves, and impact their ecosystem, and impact their factions through cooperation. So, the way that I'm seeing these guys is that those mega structures, they will work pretty much like the political layer that I just shared with you guys. So whenever a region in Star Atlas is able to create one of those mega projects, and the way that we envision this moving forward is following the logic of Starbase resupplies. You guys remember how we, at the beginning of Sage, we had to keep adding food and toolkits to star bases to upgrade them, etc. We introduced that kind of mechanic to create those mega projects, and each one of the mega projects, they are going to unveil new gameplay loops for players, for the faction, and especially for the region. We're going to have action-wide mega projects, things that impact the whole faction. And an example of something like this I'm not sure how much I can spoil here, but bear with me. I will theory craft right now. None of what I'm saying is actual alpha or is not actual alpha or anything related like that. But for example, we could have a faction joining together to create a Dyson sphere in one of the suns inside one of their ecosystems. And this would enable a reduction on the fees used to participate in the warp gates to move across the faction territory in Star Atlas. This is the kind of things that we want to enable, but we also want, I'm not saying that this is going to make it, this is an example, but it's a very, let's say, aligned with our company vision for those mega projects. Don't tell anyone that I have been saying this, but yeah. And other things that we want to do is open up gameplay loops for you guys. So for example, let's say one of the mega projects that we could build in a starbase is Ogrica Harbor. Let's say you are Oni, you can open a module in the starbase which belongs to Ogrica. It opens up the door for Ogrica Industries. And this will allow you to craft Ogrica ships inside this particular region, inside this particular starbase. You could create a mega project to fund the creation of a high-risk zone garden in that sector. And that would allow you to bring seeds and elements from the high-risk zone and try to plant them in the medium-risk zone and see what happens. And suddenly maybe you have access to some of the high-risk zone resources, even in the medium-risk zone, even in a minor capacity. So this is the kind of things that we are thinking about. I want to hear from you guys what you guys think about those shared objectives. If you guys like the concept of having faction-wide objectives, or if you guys would prefer to have something more focused on decks, focused on not maybe in the multiplayer aspect, but more on individual quest lines and things like that. I particularly think that those are necessary. The idea of players cooperating in enormous objectives. Yes, we can have both. Yes, we can have both for sure. But it is, as always, whenever you open up a door, it comes with a decision. Will the players favor their faction or their decks? That's a game design question, but it's also a game philosophy question. Because so far in Star Atlas history, we have been totally on the faction-focused path. We have decks help each other, but we definitely need decks mechanics. No, 100%. And one of the things that I was thinking here while we discussed this is that one of the modules should be open. Let me rephrase here. I was thinking that maybe the modules that are available for a specific sector in Star Atlas, they would be dependent on conditions. In the sense that, for example, if you want to start the democracy module, we require a starbase tier 5, right? This is a very straightforward requirement. But maybe when we are talking about decks and we want to implement decks mega projects, if, for example, over 50% of the claim stakes available in a given sector of Star Atlas belong to a single deck, it would open up the opportunity for that deck to build a headquarters in that sector. And that would be a harbor necessary for players to create the deck infrastructure gameplay loops. How do you guys feel about this? Just throwing the idea here. I just had this idea, this concept. Larry likes it. Jindo says it sounds cool. Yeah, I feel we need. Here's this one thing. Like, one thing that I really endeavor for Star Atlas as the guy writing the lore and etc. is that things don't feel like generic sci-fi stuff, which is hard when we have an billions of resources, planets, and etc. We want to give every sector, every place, unique features and etc. And the way that we can do this is by adding those elements like unique activation conditions that will shape the mega projects that are available in your sector. So for example, we could have mega projects that could only be placed or used in a dark planet. We'll have mega projects that can only be placed when the majority of the population in that sector belongs to punabs. You know, things like that. But when we do things like that, we increase the complexity of the game. And here is my question to you guys. Is this a problem? Because I know for sure that the OGs, the hardcore Star Atlas players, they will investigate, they will study, they will discover pretty much everything that there is about the rules, and they would create plans, they would create infrastructure to navigate this complexity in order to come to the other side with benefits, with profit, with victory. I know the decks of Star Atlas, the ones that live to this day, they would do this. They would tackle the challenge. And maybe this is not a problem because we'll have those players in the ecosystem. They'll have the players in the ecosystem to navigate the complexity and allow them to allow the players that are coming to focus on simpler gameplay loops like exploring the galaxy, having fun, etc. So this is one question that I have in mind. I'm sharing with you guys here. If you guys don't want to talk about this here in the brew, feel free to DM me later to discuss this. But this is something that keeps me awake at night when I'm designing stuff. And one of the examples of this is the RPG campaign that we have right now. And I will shamelessly go to this topic, but I promise that it makes sense because it will be a good segue to move us towards the topic that you guys are talking about, which is the basic small stuff for the new player that's coming to Star Atlas. So I have many of my players here today actually have Atlas Theory. I have Larinor here, and they are seeing how the logic that I'm building the Star Atlas RPG system. And although I am the way that I am trying to do this is by creating a very simple surface and adding a layer of customization that allows players to really create their vision of how they imagine their characters in Star Atlas to be. So, for example, you want to play an Ustur, right? So you'll be able to not only pick your stats, pick your skills, you'll be able to pick your sects, your school of thought in the universe of Star Atlas and Ustur, how you are going to reach enlightenment, how you are going to go through the different paths of enlightenment, the perks that you add to your character to help you build this vision, and things like that. So, and I want to do this for everything in game. So, for example, if you want to be a pacifist Ustur of the Living Resonance sect, which basically tends for living beings, you tend for plants, you tend for wounded people, and you want to travel through galley expanse, doing good, not involving yourself with ship fights, but healing other players' crew members, and etc., this must be allowed. Yes, exactly, King Shred, a Mother Teresa Ustur. You should be allowed to play this character. You should be allowed to play this character. A head hand, exactly, Arthur. You should be allowed to play this character, and the RPG system is being built to allow this for the player. Now, what we want to do in-game is translate this into game mechanics for C4, for the micro scale of Star Atlas. So what we are going to do, and this is, I think this is somewhat alpha, I don't think anyone ever mentioned it. I mean, we mentioned this, but not directly as I'm going to tell you guys now, but we already are on the R&D process of creating this minimal scale gameplay loop. You got your crew member, you are basically coming at your first time inside Galley Expanse. You start the game in your faction CSS or somewhere in the galaxy if you are born in the medium risk zone, something like this. What do you do? What your character looks like? What's the level of customization that you have to join Galley Expanse? And how do you participate in this ecosystem? And here's where things get things get hard in terms of game design and game development, because in an RPG campaign, all the players will meet and we give them a shared objective. They will play towards that objective and they will pretty much follow your lead, follow the general guidance that the game master gives. But should we have something like this in the C4 environment of Star Atlas? And if yes, how should this onboarding tutorial be in a way that allows you to be the character that you want to be? You guys understand my concern here, my brainstorming, my theory crafting here is that in Holocene, it is pretty easy to get you guys in the mission, right? All I need to do is walk you through the different gameplay loops of the game, like how to mine, how etc., and set you guys on a path where you guys will be able to fight other people in Star Atlas. Because that's how Holocene works. That's the limit of Holocene in terms of, let's say, game horizons. But Star Atlas, the actual Star Atlas, is much bigger than that. So We need to figure out ways, for example, for you guys need to understand what is a claim stake. You guys need to understand how resources work, and etc., and how to find your place in Galia. So, what are we focused on? I share this big problem here, but I don't want you guys to overheat trying to figure out how to solve this problem, because the way that we are going to do this is we are going to do this the same way that we have been doing everything in Star Atlas, is by breaking this into smaller steps, in smaller tasks that are easier to do, something that's easier for you to grasp, and then we build on what we have to the point where we have a solid number of building blocks that allows us to build something bigger, as we did with Sage development, as we are doing with C4 PTR now. And the way that we are doing this is envisioning how planetary relationships are going to work once players have colonized the planet. So, for example, let's pick something simple like the mud Exodus sector, the home of human world. That's guaranteed to be fulfilled to the top with claim stakes, right? Every player will be placing at least one claim stakes at the home world of humankind, to have a representation there, to have their buildings there, to have somewhat influence in the world of Star Atlas. When the new player comes to this environment, what he will see? What's going to be the ecosystem of one of those planets colonized by humans in C4? So, and this is where I think Star Atlas gets super, uber exciting, as no game has ever been before. We have the macro scale that we were just discussing 10 minutes ago. We have the political gameplay loops, establishing taxation. We have factions fighting for territory. We have different species with different cultures. We have systems and their modules that determine what's going to happen in terms of mechanics in that sector. And players will come and will colonize the sector. They will place claim stakes. They will create cities on those sectors. And this environment, this powerful environment that was shaped by players, AI agents, NPCs, factions, lore, and etc., this will be the garden under codes, where the individual player that comes to Galia Expanse with one crew member and one air bike will be introduced to. So they will learn how to play the game inside the city that was pretty much built by others, by the colonizers of our universe. There are many design decisions here in this. This is still a process of discussing. Yes, exactly, Arthur. Exactly. There needs to be a fine-tunement of this. There needs to be an equilibrium between the setting. We need a setting with enough material so players can feel accommodated in this system and actually immerse themselves in the lore. This is literally what I have been working on here in Star Atlas since I joined. Since I joined the team, since I started working on the lore, is creating. It's like every day I write something about a planet, about a species, and eventually that makes into the game, and eventually you guys meet this thing, you guys work, you guys find this resource, you guys fight the NPCs that I created, you guys participate in the universe that we are talking about, and you guys influence it. For example, you guys could potentially create a mega project with a ship that destroys planets. So at some point in game, someone might start trying to destroy entire planets in the world of Star Atlas. And this would cause enormous repercussions in terms of gameplay, in terms of consequences for individuals, for factions, for decks. Entire guilds would be removed from the setting, with their resources, with their claim stakes, So this is, I wanted to make the Brew chapter about this topic today, so you guys see where our eyes are aiming towards right now. Because tomorrow will be about talking about new milestones that we have accomplished. But the moment after we finish the town hall and you guys learn about the milestones that we have reached so far in every product development, we will move towards those goals again. We are nowhere near this place that I just narrated, but we are getting there. We are finishing a moment and starting another, and we'll keep doing that until what I just talked about becomes a reality. This is the promise that the Automata team can make to you guys, and I felt that it was important to remind you guys, to remind myself and everyone in the team that's watching this, of what we are actually doing here, for what we actually have been suffering, what we actually have been grinding, what we actually aim to do. Something that no one has ever done in any game. Something that no one dared to do. They didn't even fail because they didn't dare to try, because it is a lot of hard work. It is a lot of grind. It is a lot of you build, you failure, and you go back, you try again and again and again and again and again and again and again. But here we are, and tomorrow is the day to celebrate this struggle. It's a day to celebrate everything that we have been doing here. It's a day to celebrate the resilience of Star Atlas community, everyone involved with this project, everyone who still believes. But the day after, we go back to the grind. Because as you guys can see, and you guys will see tomorrow, the grind, it never truly ends. Alright, I think I talked a lot today, honestly. I hope this was not the usual brew that we have been used to in the last few months, but it felt good to me at least to go back to the origins of Star Atlas, theory crafting, and discussing the future and talking about the vision for the game. It actually didn't, if it didn't help any of you guys, it at least was good for me. So yeah, I had fun, and don't worry guys, we will have lots of fun. Pretty soon the RPG campaign is coming to life. I really want you guys to give a chance for the RPG campaign once it goes live, because everyone involved, the players, myself, Darwin, everyone who is supporting us is working hard to make it special, to showcase a story in the world of Star Atlas. Hopefully we'll start playing next month. I will announce this so you guys can follow, you guys can be part of it, you guys can help me kill Saint Just, Larino, Atlas Theory, Denare, and Bohemian in the most excruciating and fun way possible. And yeah, I think I am right on time right now. And I think this is a good moment to close this brew. Thank you guys for being here. I actually gave the code for today's brew at 5 minutes on the conversation. The code is tomorrow, ! And no one left the chat. So I'll take this as a victory. I appreciate you guys. I know your attention, your time is very precious. And I hope you guys are hyped for tomorrow because it's going to be a big day. I can feel it in my penguin bones. All right, everyone. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow at this time. Don't miss the brew. I love you all. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.